Hello! Today I'm going to be doing an overview of this really cool torch, which is the Bernzomatic TS8000. Today I want to give you an overview of all the features of the torch and some of the crazy things it can do, and also some really important safety things that I think you should know before you start using this. So when it comes to buying this torch, there are a few options you have. I got this particular torch actually off of a Fleet Farm website. It can go anywhere from $40 to I've seen some for $80. You can get this torch on Amazon, you can get it in person, but just keep in mind that it can be a bit pricey. This particular one I got for about $40 to $50. This is what the box looks like, pretty standard. It gives you a little bit of information on what the torch can do. There's the back, just a brief overview. And you can buy a kit that also comes with mapp Pro gas, but for this particular product, I've only got the torch. Now when you open the box, you get the torch and a little instruction booklet. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I actually lost my instruction booklet, but that's okay because all you have to do is go to the official Bernzomatic website and you can print off a brand new instruction manual, which I will be using today. So this is what the TS8000 looks like, just like this. As you can see, there are a few bits and bobs here. This is the top of the torch, which you can actually unscrew. And there's the igniter right there. This right here is the valve, which controls how much gas you're letting out. If you turn it counterclockwise, it will let the gas flow. If you turn it clockwise, it'll let less gas flow. And if you turn it all the way to the very end, right until it stops, it'll stop the gas from flowing. This right here is a lock. If you have this on the lock position and you try to press this button, you can't actually do anything. It will not ignite the gas. But if you have it unlocked, you can push it all the way, as you can see, and that'll actually ignite the gas. And this right here actually locks the trigger. So if you wanted to, because this doesn't actually stay put if I press it in, but if I press it in and then press this button, it'll keep the gas flowing. If you want to use it manually again, you just press this once and it releases that. Now let's test it. But before we do that, I'm gonna be using safety equipment, something to protect your eyes and something to protect your hands. I'm gonna be using these heat-resistant gloves and just some regular old goggles. Also, try to do this outside if you can, or at least in a well-ventilated area, because carbon monoxide poisoning is not something to mess with. All right, so for attaching and detaching the torch, I'm gonna be using pretty much almost exactly what the instruction manual says. Make sure you have it locked, and then the fuel valve all the way closed, which is just all the way turned clockwise. For propane, I'm gonna be using this, which is a standard Coleman propane tank. To attach it, all you have to do is point the torch away from you just in case and just thread it on like you would any regular old propane torch. Now when it comes to using the torch, again, here's what you do. So we're gonna unlock this. We're gonna release the valve and let a little bit of gas flow. And then nothing will happen yet. It will not light. In fact, gas shouldn't even come out of the nozzle here. But the moment we press this button in, it should ignite and we should see a flame. Just like so, and once I release it, it'll stop the flame. Now of course, if you want a larger flame, you let more gas through. And release the button, will stop the flame from happening. Again, like I mentioned, it does have a locking feature. If I press this in, press the button, it's all by itself. Now, a few really cool things about this torch. First of all, look how big this thing is. I mean, it's actually taller than the propane tank itself, which is just crazy. Now, the type of flame it has is not a pencil flame. It is called, on the box at least, an ultra swirl flame. And so you won't have this thin tip, rather you'll have this large engulfing flame. As the box says right here, it can burn both mapp Pro gas and propane. And you can actually use this torch inverted too, because it has a built-in regulator. Now, the thing is though, you want to be careful if you do that because it can flare up. So do that at your own risk, but according to the box, it can actually be used inverted. Now, I'm no expert on the subject, but I know propane burns at about 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. And let me tell ya, this torch is just crazy. I'm gonna show you some tests in just a second, but oh my word, compared to my other propane torch, this thing is just crazy. You could probably even melt metal with it if you really wanted to. So with that, let's do some things with it. Just for fun, I have a piece of homemade Starlite here, which I will be making tons of videos on in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that, but I'm just gonna show you real quick just how powerful this thing can get. Oh yeah, now that also goes to show you how amazing Starlite is, but this torch is pretty insane. And now for one of the most important parts of this video, this is how you're supposed to disconnect it, and also something really important you should know about this torch before you go and use it. So how you disconnect it, according to the instructions, is you turn this dial, you turn the trigger to the locked position. You turn off the flow of gas all the way to the left, and not too hard, but just enough so it stops. It's in the locked position, and then you can unscrew it. This is where most people stop, but there's one more thing you should know before you put this away, and that's the fact that gas can actually still be in this torch. More accurately down here, but that's besides the point. So what you do next, before you put it away, is you bring this to the unlocked position, just like that. You let the gas flow all the way and point it away from you in a well-ventilated area. And then while it's still pointing away from you, press the trigger. And that time nothing happened. I think it happens if the particular cylinder of propane you're using isn't exactly specified for this torch. But what will sometimes happen is you'll press the trigger and a little flame will actually come out of here. And so it's not a good idea to store it like that. And so what you do is after you disconnect it, point it away from you, press the trigger, and you should be good after that, after all the gas is released. And all you have to do is, if you want, you can just lock it again, close up the valve, and put it back into storage. And with that, that is my full review of the Bernzomatic TS8000. I think it's an amazing torch. Now, it is pricey, and that honestly probably is the downside, but you definitely get your money's worth as long as you get a decent deal on it. It can get extremely hot, and I will actually probably use it to do some foundry stuff in the future. So if you want to see any of that, stay tuned. Also, more Starlite stuff, as you can see. But with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and stay safe when you use this. All right, see you next time.